Well, Arcane League of Legends might be over with its second season. You can check out my full spoiler review here on the channel. I'm not going to give too much away, but I might not have been on so high on season 2 as other people have, but a lot of people have enjoyed the show, enjoyed both seasons, and just yesterday, it's kind of been an announcement out there that Riot Games is planning spin-off shows, and currently in development, they're planning 3 different areas of the same world of Arcane to be produced to some type of show. Now, we don't know if it's going to be done with Fortiche. We don't even know what the development stage is. As somebody who follows Hollywood, saying something's in development means nothing in terms of is it going to come out. It could be pre-planning, it could be half storyboarding, it could even just be what is the basis of a script. There's no say how far in the production this actually is, but we're going to take those 3 regions, Demacia, Ionia, and Noxus, and I'm going to rank them from what I think would be best to what I think will be most ambitious and maybe stay away from here in this video, and give a little brief idea of what I think they can do with each of these area shows that they're planning, much like we had Arcane with the area of Piltover and Zon. So without further ado, let's rank these 3 potential show spin-offs from Arcane League of Legends. First up, this is probably the easiest one, the one that easily has the most chance to be successful, just because it's easiest to be linked to Arcane, and that's Noxus. Noxus and Bessa, the Black Rose, and there were so many other teasers of what Noxus has going on all throughout Arcane Season 2. I think you're able to continue Mel's story, maybe quest for revenge, maybe quest for taking out the Black Rose. The Black Rose, they haven't really showed us who's in charge of that. Fans of the game will know the character that was the one in the shadows being clones of all these people, but we do not exactly know who they are in terms of the film world. The Raven at the end of Arcane Season 2 with the 3 eyes is a direct reference to Swain in Noxus, who's one of the big pillar leaders of Noxus. He clearly was hinted here, and that's an easy way to build involvement. We also got a lot of just Noxian lore, Noxian background in terms of them being more of the warmongering type colony, and them being kind of, believing hard in strength and force. So just having that familiarity from Arcane, and having, I guess, Noxus is one of the more magical areas. The familiarity with the magic, I think, leads it to having most success. Now, in Noxus, there's a lot of different stories you could go into and figure things out. Like Katarina, Talon are 2 sibling assassins that have a really rich, deep storyline that could mirror similar things like we saw with Arcane with, family and relationships. The whole Black Rose and what they're up to in that character, which I'm not going to name too much here, in her battle against Swain, I think is also something that could be really interesting, a really big political type battle. Noxus is also the type of place that invades and goes into other areas, so you get to see maybe some of these other League of Legends areas a little bit sooner. You have brothers in there like Darius and Draven that have their own interesting relationship. Darius, a much more noble individual, say somebody like an Bessa, that would be interesting to see, as well as the vast, the Black Rose and everything magical and everything questionable going on with magic and Noxus itself. There's an individual the Black Rose is guarding that's very ancient and very prevalent to what, arcane destruction can be like, that would work very well for Noxus. And there's a character that really ties in with one of the other series we're talking about here, Ionia, whose name is Riven, that is a great protagonist and somebody you can easily see fluctuate maybe between multiple shows, multiple regions, and be a really fun main character to follow throughout the next stage of League TV. Again, I just think the familiarity with Noxus, you'll be able to continue Mel's storyline, being able to continue characters in there, like Mel. You can add so much deep, war action and history with Noxus. They're very much a central part of what makes this world kind of happen and rise up. and there's just a lot of good stories you can tell. And I think a 1 to 2 season at most type storyline. I think if I'm Riot, I would think more of making these shows as one series type, limited series type things. Don't try to do too much like Arcane, where multiple seasons if you can. Just because I think with Arcane, you kind of rush the second season in my mind, and it causes divvying effects. So when you plan these out, make it one good story, make it one good long season story that can flow into another show per se too. Because I would say something like Talon and Katarina from Noxus and can easily find their way into what I would say would be my second most, what I would rank number 2 of a show I would want to see, and that's Demacia. Demacia has a lot of interesting stuff going on. This is the anti-mage kind of colony, even more so than what Piltover was like of this world. They have material, this beautiful stone-like material that absorbs magic and basically makes it a safe haven from magic. There's a lot of interesting characters that whenever it comes to, arcane individuals, that leaves a lot of questionable moral things, class warfare, prejudices, stuff like that you can come from Demacia. The main character of Demacia that you'd want to tell a story through is always going to be Luxana Crownguard. She has her own comic strip that has a few episodes that I think would tie very well through a season of a Demacia type show. She's connected to the top of the top, the king of Demacia. She's related to her brother Garen as one of the head soldiers of Demacia. She comes from a very loyal family. There's a lot of interesting individuals that you can meet through Demacia, and really tell a deep political story, and also one where, Arcane itself showed more of the negative side of magical stuff. But Demacia type show can show more of the positive side of magic, and why, just choosing no magic isn't always a great thing, and seeing how they treat mages in that land, seeing, the landscape of Demacia in different ways. I know there was a character Silas as well in Demacia, who is a arcanic mage that again ties very much into the story of Luxana, of the kingdom there in Demacia, of everything that's going on with mages, that I just think would tell a very good, strong story. And again, there's characters from Noxus, much like there was characters from Noxus and Arcane, that play a major part in this. That, again, from Noxus, you can have a couple characters spin off into Demacian's story and really tell, I think, an interesting one-season story, if not two, if they can get the seasons going quickly. That would be really engaging, and I think people would really enjoy, and I think it would be very much good. I almost think it could work better as a movie for a couple different things, but if they're going to do a TV show, I think Demacia is my second favorite of these 3 options overall. And that leaves my final pick here, and it's not because it doesn't have great stories, it's not because it's not something I don't want to see, it's Ionia. Ionia has almost some of the most wide range of stories and wide range of interesting characters that comes out of this world. Whether it is a temple of ninjas or, martial arts in one section of Ionia that deals with spiritual world and things like that. You have 2 brothers, Yone and Yasuo, who have such an interesting story and dynamic and where they go in their lives that blends so much in with what's going on with Ionia that you have in there. You have everything going on with, animal, human-like creatures called Thesaya, whether it be characters like Rakan or Zaya, or even like Ari, somebody who's like a pillar front of the League of Legends game. You also have like full brawler type, almost mafia style rings that connect a lot of different people, like a set, somebody who crosses over with Piltover a bit, a Jin, a Hwei. They have a very big connection to Noxus because Noxus actually goes to war with them in the background story so far of League of Legends. So that's one where, again, that Riven character has a big story to play in that storyline and connects very much with both Ionia and Noxus. So again, you're seeing that why Noxus is number one for me, because I think it's a good center point to have to spin off more into these two other central conflicts and shows. And I just think Ionia is number three for me, just because this is one that I just think there's almost too much story and too many characters to tell. If you thought Arcane had a lot of references to League of Legends characters or had a lot of characters, Ionia has about 30 to 40 people that are very involved in its story and everything that goes on. And that's just from the Ionia side of the war with Noxus and where everybody comes from to fight them and save their land against Noxus. We're not even talking about the Noxian side of the different individuals that could be built up in the Noxus show. So Ionia and Noxus would almost be a show you want to entwine together in some way. Maybe give them each a standalone season, and then, for a second season, have it be like the Ionian war against Noxus, as Noxus invades. But that's kind of where I'm thinking they should go here if they do develop these three series out full. I would do Noxus first. I'd probably spin off Demacia. Maybe give it its own series eventually, but I would spin Demacia off into a movie, because I do think movies are better for the series to at least get their money back and to build up stuff like that. I think you can tell the story of Luxana that includes some Noxus characters, as well as other characters like Silas, Garen, Jarvan IV, in a really crisp 2.5, 3 hour movie, and lead that into a full-on TV show after. And then I would also, again, I do Noxus, that movie, TV show, Ionia TV show, and then I would do the Ionia-Noxus war that takes place afterwards, that I think just really fleshes out more characters and really centralizes the connection between a lot of different Arcane type stuff. But if you're wondering what I've said, tell me what interests you down below. If you're a fan of the game and you have your own personal opinion, tell me what stories you want to see from these three regions in the comments down below. Like and subscribe, because we have more Arcane content coming related to League of Legends and Arcane shows over the next couple weeks. I said I was going to do watch-alongs, but because of my own personal opinions and how I felt they were coming out, I'm just going to stick to my review of Arcane that was posted this last weekend, and I'll fill up these next few weeks with Arcane-related, videos. Next Monday, we'll be ranking all 18 episodes of Arcane from my favorite to least favorite. And then the week after that, I will talk about how I would personally have fixed Arcane or made the story work better, because I wasn't as positive as others were. So if that type of content is exciting you, like and subscribe to the channel, but also check out my other movie reviews, TV show reviews, all that other stuff I do here on Josh Does Movies, Pittsburgh Steelers coverage, and, not even Josh Does Movies, my name, Josh Kahn now. And I will see you all in the comments here or somewhere else down the line.